This is Abia COVID-19 update. Abia COVID-19 update. Well, let me just give you a rundown of what happened there that you heard. Well, Dr. Ochikwe said that 4 Nigerians had tested positive for highly contagious United Kingdom COVID-19 strain. And those that tested positive included 3 Nigerians who had traveled out of the country, while 1 was in the country, adding that it was not surprising to find a new strain in the country given the frequency of travel between the UK and Nigeria. Well, one will be asking, why not ban traveling between UK and Nigeria? But anyways, Dr. Iwe Kwazu said the agency would keep intensifying its genomics surveillance and genomics sequencing in collaboration with its partners, as shutting down international travel would not achieve much so long as the virus was still ravaging in other countries. He disclosed that the NCDC has rolled out rapid diagnostic test kits, and that was where you heard the government talking tough concerning states that are not following some of those protocols. That is relating to National Youth Service orientation camps across the country. Well, he said 22,119 individuals have been tested and 765 confirmed cases of COVID-19 amongst the core members in the country. And of course, this is Abia State COVID-19 update. My name is Michael Oni. It's a daily report of the Interministerial Committee on the Control of COVID-19, as well as the governor's effort, Dr. Okezie Ikpeazu, in ensuring that the state is safe from the virus. And this program is running simultaneously every weekday, Mondays through Fridays, on several radio stations. As it stands now, we're live on Flow 94.9 FM, BCA 88.1 FM, Vision Africa Radio 104.1 FM, Family Love 99.9 FM. We are also live in Aba, Bars 89.7 FM and Real 99.1 FM, both in Aba, the commercial capital of the state. Now let's go straight to the discussion. Today I do have a professor in the studio with me, joining me this morning, a professor of veterinary medicine and clinical virology at the Michael Okpara University of Agriculture, Maduike, Professor Maduike Ezibe. Professor, good morning to you. Thank you very much for joining us.
Good morning.
Interesting. Nice meeting you. You are one of the numerous academicians in Nigeria that came out and said we have the cure for COVID-19. Can you bring us up to speed on that? And do you still have the cure?
Let me start by correcting my name. My name is Maduike.
Maduike
Ezibe, not Maduike.
That should be the fault of my producer. Maduike
Ezibe.
Thank you very much.
Now, it said that there are many people who come to claim they have cure for COVID-19. It's not new. Even HIV and other diseases, many people claim. There's difference between claiming and really having the cure. Because most people tell you they can cure COVID-19, they can cure HIV, they can cure this. How do they cure it? They won't tell you. Some of them won't even tell you the name. They say they have herb. What we are talking about, that's a mechanism which we have developed the hypothesis that opposite charges in electronic attraction will inhibit any virus, because every virus is locally charged. COVID-19 virus is positively charged, HIV virus is positively charged, something like hepatitis B and monkeypox virus are negatively charged. These are in literature. And we discovered there are medicines that also have electrical charges. Of course, everybody knows that opposite charges with electronic attraction will make that medicine to bind to the virus, and if you bind to the virus will no longer be able to infect cells.
Okay.
This is simple medical or scientific mechanism that is already known. Opposite charges electronic attraction. The medicine we have, we use its negative charges to bind to COVID-19 virus and thereby neutralizing the virus. That is what we are saying.
Okay, so interesting. I love that. But now a big question is, what are the hindrances rather to the production of the Nigerian-made vaccines to cure this disease? Like the one you claim you have, it's still on that claim according to our profession, Professor, until proving that it can cure COVID-19. So you will permit me for using claim. So
no, but the medicine may be a claim, but the hypothesis is not a claim. that opposite charges of attraction will make something to neutralize the other one. I think you know that one. Everybody agrees with that one.
I agree
so
with
all
that
that you need to do is to investigate. Is it true that there's a medicine that has negative charges? Is it true that COVID-19 is positively charged? If you can prove all these things, you then agree with me.
Okay, Professor, let's talk about the hindrances now.
Now, the hindrances,
you have this, and yet we're going outside to procure vaccines with billions of naira. I'll be asking, why not just go for local vaccines?
Let me put it this way. I think that what you do is that ask those in government, is it true that there's a medicine called aluminum silicate? It's a medicine. It's not new. I didn't discover that medicine. It's a medicine that has been in use. It's called aluminum silicate. That it has positively charged end and negatively charged end. Is it true that COVID-19 virus is positively charged? If it is true, you don't ask them, why haven't you developed this medicine? Use it to cure yourself and cure the whole world, and use it to make money for the country. So they have to ask, is it true that there's a medicine called aluminum silicate, that its molecules are made of particles that are negatively charged and positively charged? Why COVID-19 virus is positively charged? Yes, positively charged. If it is true, then ask them, why haven't you developed this thing? If you want me to ask, if you want me to answer the question, if I must answer the question,
please answer.
I think it is I don't know whether to call it inferiority complex. If it's not America, if it's not Europe, Africa believes it can.
Are you saying we don't have trust in what we produce?
Exactly, that is what I was saying. We don't have trust. We don't believe in ourselves.
Some other professors in Nigeria do have what I call claim. I know you don't like me using the word claim. What I call claim to the issue of COVID-19 in the country. But have you been supported in any way?
By who?
By the government. You're a researcher, and you have something. You have an hypothesis.
In 2017, the governor invited me. I went to government house. He supported me because there was a book I wanted to publish then. That was when we talk about HIV. That's all. So, but I have been shouting, this thing is potentially a very big thing, that COVID-19 can be made a stepping stone of a stumbling block.
Are we getting enough support from the government for locally made vaccines?
Listen, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Nigeria will prefer to shout America has done this, Europe has done this, instead of talking about this. I think there was a video that is viral. I was in Atlanta. I went to give lecture in Atlanta about HIV. And they said, I didn't even conclude that I can cure HIV. And they said, they concluded that permanent cure had been found for HIV. And that video is viral. I saw it online and I downloaded it. So even at that, even people reading that thing, they explained that the government of Nigeria, or let's say Nigeria generally, we don't believe in ourselves. I think it's inferiority complex.
So what should be done?
What should be done? We have to believe in ourselves. Like I said, this is simple something. It's not like somebody said, I have a herb that it can cure. Somebody said that electrical attraction, which all of us know is true, then all you need to investigate is it true that overalls are electrically charged? Is it there's a medicine, existing medicine that has both positive charge and negative charge end? If these are facts, why wouldn't that medicine be able to cure? Then if you believe it can cure, then you go for clinical trial and test people and find out we have cured COVID-19. There was a patient that was confirmed at Amachara of COVID-19. They asked him to go home and isolate himself because he was a former student of Michael. He called us on phone. We sent him message. The man is now okay.
Okay, but that cannot be confirmed anyway. It's still a claim, Professor. No. According to my professor, it's a claim.
Sorry. He was confirmed to be COVID-19 positive. He was treated. He went back to the same lab. The lab said he's not cured. So is it a claim?
It's a claim, as far as I am concerned, and as far as this program is concerned, it's a claim, Professor. Well, we need to take a break now. Don't forget, mask wearing remains a game changer. If only everyone will agree to wear it. For health workers, I keep saying it might mean the minimum type of mask to be worn should be N95, but the condition we found ourselves in the country. In case you do not have it, and it is not readily available, double masking with the surgical mask might help, please. And while lockdown remains the most effective way of stopping this virus, although the effect on the economy is heavy and the federal government says, well, we're not ready to lock down the country. If the people can avoid any form of gathering or clustering, it will go a long way towards stemming the tide. But unfortunately, we're gathering, and of course, especially in enclosed places, and of course, we have a high risk of generating aerosols transmission. And for the avoidance of doubt, gatherings like parties, night clubbing, weddings, naming ceremony, chieftaincy title ceremony, just name it, political events, NIN registration, we're gathering, and it's very important that we do avoid these places, in my opinion. And of course, medical experts will also let you know that use your face mask, hand sanitizing, very, very important at this point in time. If you are 40 years old and above, you have comorbidities, you have to take extra precautions. Fewer children contract the virus, but they can transmit it to adults. We take a break now. When we return, I will tell you about what is happening in the globe and also in Nigeria. Then we'll return to Professor Maduike Ezibe, a professor of veterinary medicine and clinical virology at the Michael Okpara University of Agriculture, Umudike. We're looking at the support given to for locally made vaccines in the country, and a big question here is why Nigeria is yet to produce vaccines. Although the professor said we are not sincere and we're suffering from what he called inferiority complex. It is Abia State COVID-19 update. This is Abia COVID-19 update. Abia COVID-19 update. All right, United States biotechnology firm Moderna yesterday said lab studies showed its COVID-19 vaccine would remain protective against variants of the coronavirus first identified in the United Kingdom and South Africa. But out of caution, the company will test adding a second booster of its vaccine to make 3 shots in total, and has begun preclinical studies on a booster specifically for the South African variant. And the world is on the verge of reaching 100 million COVID-19 infections. I told you yesterday, according to Johns Hopkins Coronavirus Resource Center statistics, more than 2 million people have died from this virus also. But Tedros Ghebreyesus, the Director General of the WHO, World Health Organization, said COVID-19 vaccines could bring the global pandemic under control, with vaccinations underway in more than 50 countries. However, all but 2 of those countries are high or middle income countries. He said WHO has, through the COVAX facilities, signed an agreement with Pfizer BioNTech for up to 40 million doses of its vaccines. And Ghebreyesus said WHO expects almost 150 million doses of the AstraZeneca Oxford vaccine to be available for distribution by COVAX in the first quarter of this year, pending its emergency use listing. While in Nigeria yesterday, the country confirmed 1,430 new COVID-19 cases, raising the country's total infections to 122,996. Now, 30 people also died from this disease in the past 24 hours, taking the fatalities from the disease to 1,507 in total. The United States government has donated field hospital worth $1.3 million to Nigeria. Yesterday, the field hospital, which is located at the Federal Medical Center in Jabi, that's in Abuja, is in aid of Nigeria's effort to slow the spread of this virus. And the hospital includes 4 fully equipped negative pressure isolation facilities with the capacity to house up to 40 patients. It also includes an administrative unit, a 160 kilowatt auxiliary generator, and other support equipment such as beds, subfloors, showers, and lavatories. Well, let's talk about let's get back to the discussion today now. Yesterday, during one of the committees sitting at the National Assembly, the National Assembly queried the 10 billion naira released for COVID-19 locally made vaccines. That's a topic of discussion today. Now listen.
Because he told the country that 10 billion was released for COVID-19 vaccine production, but we got, as you saw now, what was released was in line with what was already there for preparing the country for all other vaccines, bulk vaccine arrangement. So let him come and explain whether he's now using that money specifically for COVID-19, unlike what is there in the 2020 budget we approved. So if he fails to do that, an appropriate response of the National Assembly will be effected as provided by constitutions and our rules. What we release is in line with the budget as we stated, but what the Ministry of Health announced, because he announced it in PTF, this particular money is not related to COVID specifically. It's for all vaccines in terms of what they want to do.
Well, Senator Ibrahim Oloriegbe there of the Senate. But Professor Maduike Ezibe is still very much here. Professor, I would like you to help us through the channel of presentation in case you discover something as a researcher. The line of presentation to the government before the government will take it up and maybe present it to the WHO, and it will be accepted worldwide.
Now, if you discover something, like I said, we start with the hypothesis.
Okay.
You have to be sound, scientific. Like I said, that there's a medicine that has a negatively charged end, a positively charged end, and we discover that every virus has a charge. So we know that the opposite will make it to bind to that virus, and if you bind to that virus, you neutralize the virus. That is first step.
Okay.
If your hypothesis makes sense, you then now progress to what we call the in vitro test. That is a lab test. So if in the lab and your medicine is able to inhibit the virus, for instance, this is our medicine we are talking about. We have used it against 9 viruses. HIV is the 9th virus. We have used it against animal virus that Newcastle this virus. It was able to inhibit it. I'm not saying we use it. I didn't use it alone. This is something we are using to supervise a PG exam. Invite people from other universities to come and investigate, and they have passed those students. After that stage, if it is meant for human beings, if it's able to inhibit the virus in the lab, then you go for clinical trial, the phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. But government has to come and push it, because you cannot.
You say government has to push it. That's what I want to know. So how?
That's what
government will push what you discover. How?
Why not? You said that American government is talking about American government has said this. Why is what of Nigerian government? Why are we so inferior? They will even fight you and try to push you back. Don't say it. You say, why are you saying it? They can even arrest you in Nigeria because you are saying the truth. But if it's America will be saying our scientists have done this. So don't we have the scientists in Nigeria?
So are you saying you are not getting the necessary support from the government?
I'm not even talking about support. Even if they leave you alone, they will try to force you. Some of us are even stubborn to keep talking about. They will try to do anything to stop you, because all they want is to say America has given us a grant. Like I talking about it, I was laughing when Nigeria is going to produce vaccine. Oh, what a funny thing! People don't even know what is vaccine. 10 billion for vaccine. Let us see. Let us go and put it down. Can they produce vaccine? What do they know about vaccine? Have they got the virus? Isolate it and then purify it before you can start attenuating it. What type of vaccine are they going to produce?
Now, those medical terms, those terms you're using are very big. I would really like you to simplify those terms for us this morning. But before you get to that point, Professor, if we are to produce locally made vaccines, do we have the facilities to purify those, like you said, purify, separate, to get the virus and keep the virus? Do we have the facilities in this country?
I don't know if you know the difference between vaccine and medicine. There are two different things. Vaccine is to protect, to prevent. Because if you are giving vaccine, because you use that virus that is causing the disease, purify it, then you attenuate it. What do you mean attenuate it? You reduce its ability to cause disease. When you reduce its ability to cause disease, it cannot come into your body without causing this, but it will cause production of antibody to protect. Or you can use a fraction of the virus. So Nigeria needs to get the virus, purify it, get the standard virus, not even the one you collect in the field, and then purify it. Then if they want to use fraction of it, they fractionalize it, and then before they start attenuating it, I can tell you for sure, put it down. Nigeria is not in a position to produce vaccine. The way to go is to develop medicine. Is a quick medicine, cheap medicine that whoever is infected is treated. Even in the world, because when I gave my inaugural lecture, I think in 2019, I told them that America was talking about developing a vaccine against HIV. They were then in South Africa testing it. I said they were going to fail. They failed. But Nigerian government doesn't believe in the scientists, because I told them, I challenged them that this medicine they want to produce, the vaccine they want to produce against HIV, will fail. It failed because HIV is an immune deficiency disease, and vaccine is supposed to stimulate immunity. It will not work. It didn't work. Even this one that they are producing, okay, they said they are producing effective vaccine. How long will that protection last? 1 year, 2 years, or 10 years? Any vaccine that does not last for its protection does not last for 10 years cannot be effective in controlling any human disease.
Okay, Professor, beyond these lab-induced vaccines, lab-produced vaccines, do you believe in herbal cure for coronavirus?
Let's also say this where Africa is getting it wrong.
Okay.
Herbs contain some chemicals or some substances that can kill viruses, but you just say herb. When you identify that this herb can cure or can minimize the clinical signs of a particular disease, you now try to find out what is in that herb. And when you find out that isolate it, that is what you are going to call. You could say that reagent or the chemical in the lab, in the herb can cure. I don't know if you know.
I'm getting
most of the medicines we are using are from herbs or minerals, but you don't talk about herbal medicine. Herbal medicine is let's say laziness. That herb is always something. Find out to isolate what is in that herb, then synthesize it, and then be talking about so in this herb, which this herb contains. When you synthesize it, it's no longer from the herb. You now multiply it. So
interesting.
For to say herb is laziness. It's only in Africa talk about herb. People now isolate what is in the herb and talk about that thing that is in the herb.
Okay, I would like to get reactions on the phone lines just before we wrap up the program this morning. Abia State COVID-19 update. Don't forget your non-pharmaceutical protocols, those ones put in place by the government. Keep following them, using your face mask regularly, washing your hands for at least 20 seconds with soap and water, and also ensuring that you stay away from where people are gathered. 0808 182 6949 or 0811 605 2949. It's Abia State COVID-19 update, and we'll be speaking with the Professor of Veterinary Medicine and Clinical Virology at the Michael Opera University of Agriculture, Maduike. Let's take this and hello, good morning to you.
Good morning. Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning to you. You have 45 seconds. What's your name?
Okay, my name is Cornelius. I want to thank the professor for coming on the station to enlighten everybody. So, good day, sir. I just want to make a little input so that.
All right, please do.
Yeah, I want you to change. I don't want to agree with the word that herbal medicine is laziness, because I know that I have a diploma from herbal medicine from UK as an individual, and yes, science has made a lot of advancements.
Cornelius. Okay, right. Just let me get your reactions because time is fast spent, Professor.
So, Cornelius got me wrong. I didn't say that herbs are not useful. I said herbs contain substances that can be effective. So, when you discover that this herb contains this, what you're going to talk about, that particular substance no longer the herb. You say that isolated something from the herb, which it can cure this. That is what I'm saying.
Right.
For you to leave it at the level of herb, as if we are living at the level of our traditional doctors, that is laziness.
All right, Professor Maduike Ezibe, Professor of Veterinary Medicine and Clinical Virology. Thank you very much for being part of the program Abia State COVID-19 update today.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And that's it. That's how far we can go today. Join us tomorrow on another edition of the program. Many thanks to the partnering radio stations, BCA FM, Flow FM, Vision Africa Radio, Family Love FM, Buzz FM, and Real FM. My name is Michael Oni. This is Abia COVID-19 update. Abia COVID-19 update.